video will be covering the infectious diseases epidemiological part. So how we are going to go about this is, as I said in the previous video, we will be splitting the diseases into bacterial, viral, protozoal and worms causing the infection. So in this video we'll be talking about the bacterial diseases. So further, this is basic microbiological classification of bacteria, which is going to be very useful for us to write the certain basic identification features of various bacteria. So if you take the gram positive aerobic bacteria, they can either be cocci or bacilli. So cocci, the two most important ones are your staph and strep. So they cause a variety of symptoms, and with respect to SPM, they're not very important. When you come to your streptococci pneumonia is very important because it causes respiratory diseases, causes pneumonia, so it's very important. And then your bacilli, your non-sporing bacilli like Corynebacterium and Listeria are important. Corynebacterium diphtheria causes diphtheria, and Listeria monocytogenes cause listeriosis. So those are the important bacteria in your gram positive. In your gram negative, you have a lot of important bacteria. So gram positive bacilli are very important, which are aerobic and or facultative, and they are oxidase negative and oxidase positive. So oxidase positive ones are the ones which are important in SPM. So your Vibrio cholerae is very important, and other important gram-negative bacilli are your Bordetella pertussis, which causes whooping cough. Brucella causes brucellosis. Legionnaire pneumophila causes Legionnaire's disease. So all these are very important diseases with respect to SPM. And in anaerobic bacteria, the only important bacteria will be your Clostridium tetani, which causes tetanus. And other groups of bacteria which are important are your TB. This is the most important bacteria which you need to know a lot about. Not with respect to microbiology, but with respect to SPM, there's a specialized dedicated program for tackling this bacterial disease, which is the RNTP, RNTCP, the Revised National Tuberculosis Control Program. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about the different health programs in India. Other bacteria are your chlamydia, which causes infection of the vaginal tract, and your scrub typhus, your Rickettsia, Prowazaki, Rickettsia, and Rickettsia typhi, which causes typhus fever. So before going into these bacteria and what type of symptoms you're going to show, I'm going to give you a small template which you can use for writing the answer for any epidemiological disease question. So if they ask you any essay in epidemiological, let it be infectious or non-infectious diseases, you can just use these headings and you can start writing and fill a lot of pages using these main headings. So first you need to write a little bit about the history of disease and the impact of the disease on the world. So what do I mean by this? If you take TB, the whole world is aware about TB, and the governments give a lot of importance to controlling TB. So the first time TB was talked about in such a big scale was in 1993 by the WHO. So those are small things which you need to know. You write these things, they are like embellishments, they increase the value of your answers. So you write about that, and then you mention a little bit about the effect of the disease in India and in your region if you have any idea about it, like dengue, typhoid, Japanese encephalitis, scrub typhus. These are all certain diseases which are endemic to certain areas of the country. If you know which uh, diseases are prevalent in your area, it will be very useful for you to fill up pages based on that. So then moving on, we talk about the epidemiological triad. So yesterday in last video I said that epidemiological triad is the most important thing when it comes to epidemiology. So we'll be talking about the agent, the host, and the environment. So today we'll be talking about all bacteria. So they can either be bacteria, virus, protozoa, worms, or whatsoever they may be. So the host factors, they can be either bacteria, virus. So you're going to write about the structure of the microbe. It's gram positive, gram negative, or single stranded RNA, positive sense, negative sense, or double stranded RNA, or is it a trematode, nematode, or what type of protozoan it is. All of those special features which it has, the uh, antigenic molecules it has, the different toxins it produces. So, and what are the different stains you can use to identify it. All of that you can discuss under the agent factor. And then moving on to host factor, there are certain points which you're supposed to write out on certain headings. So the first thing is which gender is affected more. So if we take chlamydia, obviously women are affected more. If we take TB, males are affected more. So these are all small things which you need to know. And then age group affected. Uh, are the children affected? Or all the, like rotavirus mostly affects the children. And then tuberculosis mostly affects 20 to 40 year olds. So that is the normal adult population. And then so these are all small things you need to add on to your answers to make them more presentable. And finally, immune status and intensity of disease. So TB is, everyone in the world is exposed to TB, but not everyone develops symptom because very strong immunity of that person. So only when their immunity diminishes due to some other condition like diabetes or some other HIV AIDS or something like that, tuberculosis symptoms start manifesting and starts proliferating again. So that's what you're going to write in the host factor. And about the environment, you write about all the socio-economic factors, like the type of housing, overcrowding is it present, the type of water they're using, what type of are they rich or they poor, are they able to afford, then the nutrition, all those things you can talk in the environment factor. So and then moving on, you need to talk about, in case of infectious disease, the modes of transmission. That is nuclei, that is droplet nuclei, or waterborne, or feces borne, or however it spreads. Then incubation period, that is the uh, time in between the entry of the disease and the appearance of symptoms, that's known as incubation period. So during this period, screening tests are done to identify if the person has the disease, and you can detect the disease early and you can prevent further prognosis of the disease. And then you will talk about the clinical features of the disease. So what symptoms are they going to show, what signs are they going to show, and then how is it going to progress if it's not treated properly. All those things can be mentioned in this heading, clinical features. Then the lab diagnosis. So in lab diagnosis, you can write general points and specific points. For bacteria, you can talk about the staining, that is the acid fast staining or the gram staining. And then you can talk about the culture mediums, most commonly McConkey agar, chocolate agar, blood agar, telluride medium, and then Lowenstein Jensen agar. All these are various lab diagnoses. Then tuberculin test, Mantoux test, and then you can talk about all of those and specific investigations for various diseases. Like for viruses, you have antigen specific tests like NS1 for dengue, and then Vidal for typhoid, and all those things. You can just keep adding on those points in your lab diagnosis. And then you just need to talk about prevention and control. So in prevention and control, you need to also talk about the treatment aspect. So treatment will be your drugs. So your drugs, in the sense, for any bacterial disease, you can give antibiotics like your penicillins, and then your cephalosporins like ceftriaxone, and then your macrolides like azithromycin, amikacin, gentamicin, and then your ciprofloxacin, which is doxycycline, then your tetracyclines. You can give a lot of examples and basically fill pages with any one of these headings which you know in detail, but the ones you need to give priority to are your epidemiological triad. You need to talk a lot about that, your clinical features to some extent, and prevention and control, because this is not a microbiology paper where you go on and on about the organism. More so, you're going to know what you're going to do about it and how you're going to prevent it from affecting the population. That is the whole point of reading SPM. So that's how your answer should be. It should be like how you're going to find out that there's this disease as soon as possible and prevent it as much as possible. So treatment, that is one part of control. And then you can have vaccines or some kind of any antibody doses. So all of those will be included in this. And then for control, you can tell like health education, then better sanitation, and all those things like which you write generally for prevention and control in anything. And finally, if there's any specific health program related to the disease which you are discussing about, you need to mention about that. For example, TB, RNTCP. So this itself has gone for about 10 minutes. So I'll just talk a little bit about TB and we'll continue in the next video. I don't want the video to be too long. So when it comes to TB, just remember those 10 subheadings, fit these points and highlight these points as much as possible. So first of all, it affects 20 to 40-year-olds, male more than female, and it's caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is the acid fast bacilli, and its specific medium is Lowenstein Jensen medium. The specific test will be a tuberculin test. The various investigations you can do to confirm diagnosis are your sputum analysis and your X-ray of chest. There are some cases of sputum negative TB also. So there's a algorithm for diagnosis of TB. If you know it, write it. If you don't know it, just forget about it and write the common symptoms which present for TB, which are chronic cough, hemoptysis, and fatigue. And then the drug regimen, that is your intensive phase and your continuous phase with the dose and how much drugs, how many times that they have to take the drug per day. All those things are important. Then RNTCP, the setup of RNTCP, what are the different levels of administration do they have and how do they go about preventing tuberculosis, and by when do they want to prevent tuberculosis, and what are the different strategies which are using. All of those you can just mention about them, and I am sure this information would be enough for you to cover about 10 to 15 pages, which is more than enough for an essay. So I hope this is really useful. So before I end this video, I just want to talk a little bit about these bacteria and what diseases they cause. So Streptococcus pneumonia, as I said before, it causes pneumonia, acute respiratory distress, or anything like that. And then your Corynebacterium causes diphtheria, again a disease of the URI. It causes pseudomembrane formation in the mouth. So it's a very important clinical point, you need to write about that. Then listeriosis. Then Clostridium tetani is you get tetanus. So you get any accident or somewhere where you're exposed, there's some exposure of your open cut wounds, this bacteria may enter and it may cause paralysis kind of symptoms. So that's what you need to know about tetanus. And then your Vibrio cholerae, rice water diarrhea, excessive diarrhea, watery diarrhea. Then fecal oral transmission. Then Bordetella pertussis is whooping cough again. Brucella is again a respiratory disease. Legionnaires disease again upper respiratory tract disease. Then Mycobacterium tuberculosis again cough, hemoptysis, and then pneumonia like symptoms, granuloma formation in the lung. Chlamydia is like vaginal infection. It causes foul smelling discharge. So the other causes will be your syphilis and that's your Treponema pallidum. I missed it. Yeah, that causes syphilis. So that's important. And then leptospirosis, again fever, muscle pain, all those things. Scalp typhus, again fever, respiratory. So you just know about that fever, respiratory, those symptoms, and then you write about the bacteria, what type of bacteria it is, and then what are the different antigenic things and the toxins produced, the lab diagnosis are the things which you need to take from your microbiology, which I have not focused much in this. What I focused on is the epidemiological triad, the modes of transmission, the prevention and control aspect, and the initial part where you write a little bit about the history of the disease, impact in the world, impact in India, and impact in your region. So I hope this is very useful for you guys, and if you have any doubts, please do comment and please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you.